Okay, I'm on 160 Evelyn Street at Manisha's house, and the idea here is to remove this tree, transplant these two hydrangea, roughly 4x4s, back against the foundation of the house. Remove the three shamrock holly. Might even be able to leave the woodgelia right here. Okay. Then we're going to end up having to transplant some of those dwarf boxwoods, 3 on this side, 3 on the other side. And we'll still have roughly about a 10-foot by, it's about 10 feet, and then it goes about 12 feet this way. And then you'll see here it's about 5 feet from here to here. Okay, so I still have to plant that area. You got phlox here, juniper here. Transplant 2 hydrangea back against the foundation of the house. Again, move 3 of these in front of the hydrangea. Transplant the dwarf hinoki kama cypress similar over in this area. And then we're going to have another area roughly about 10 feet by 6 feet to fill in for perennials in here. Okay, some shade-loving perennials such as Simiciphusia around the generator that will love the shade and block out the generator. Then possibly another border perennial or plant along the front here. Okay, underneath the dogwood tree, that's again another roughly 14 feet by 3 feet area in here. Transplant the iris to make more sense out of that. You have a air vent right here. If we plant anything in front of it, it's gonna kill the air vent's gonna kill it. We might have to kind of rework the air vent, add more piping, and then you could probably put a couple plants back in this area. Okay. Here you might end up doing something evergreen, okay, against the house. There's maybe 2 plants back there. Leave the woodgelia. You've got 2 ferns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blueberry bush, which you might again plant over here. Remove the 2 inkberry holly. I would say you're probably going to end up doing 3 plants over here. Maybe 1 taller plant to try to block the air conditioning unit or the vent right here. So 1 taller plant such as a holly or maybe even a tree hydrangea right back over here. And then you're going to have another space, again roughly about 14 feet by about 7 feet in this area where you might add some plantings and maybe some border perennials. Okay, so you might even consider carrying a border perennial from the rocks all the way up to keep some sort of unity to the bed. Maybe you do a border perennial that covers about 30 inches of space going all the way up, and that's roughly about 40 feet through here. Okay. Possibly some brunera or shade-loving perennials underneath the Japanese maple in the back, because it's very focal to your entertainment area. So that could be a small improvement that could make give a lot of bang for your buck. And then in this area, this is just, again, transplanting some of the overly dense populated areas to some of the less dense populated areas. So this area I would only think about transplanting, not adding anything new. Okay, so that's another idea. The lamb's ear, I would transplant this in an area of the property and then put in 1 type of a perennial that covers roughly a 12-foot by 4-foot area. Okay, underneath this tree in the front. Then I would trim these trees with the pole pruner, the fir tree, the spruce tree, this tree, and the weeping cherry. Okay, so that, and then replace the boxwoods that are underneath this area that just aren't doing well with the shade-loving plant, such as oak leaf hydrangea or whatnot, through this area. And that's roughly about 35 feet long from this rock to here, roughly about 35 feet. Okay. This area back here I don't think is a priority, so we'll probably leave that alone. So that's it. I think that's it.